Okay, so Jessica wants to know about Judaism in your childhood and as you grew up. So West Hartford, Connecticut.
Well, I grew up originally in Hartford through fifth grade.
Okay.
So we went to the original Emmanuel Synagogue in Hartford. And it was a conservative. And the rabbi there, the original rabbi was Silverstein, who wrote a lot of the conservative prayer books. And the cantor was Cantor Corrette. And he was an amazing man. He went to high school with my father as well.
Okay.
And he had a choice of going to the Metropolitan Opera or being a cantor. He decided on being a cantor.
Wow.
So when he chanted, it was a concert. Yeah, it was magnificent.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. But that was a conservative. And then they built a newer synagogue in West Hartford when most of the families moved out of Hartford to West Hartford.
Okay.
In Connecticut. So they eventually sold that building. It's now a black church, I believe. It's still there. And we were married in the old, and the reception was in the new synagogue.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
1963.
1963.
Because you just celebrated your 60th anniversary. Right. Quite impressive.
Yeah.
Nice. And now I know you said conservative. Did men and women sit together then?
They did, yes.
Even back in.
I don't believe in the women sitting separately. And
no, I know you don't.
Yeah.
And then so you have the prayer books. How often did you go to temple growing up? And it probably was different from your childhood.
Very, very different from childhood to now.
What about to childhood to like 18, 19, 20? Well, you went to college then.
Yeah, I was going to college. I really wasn't going to synagogue much then.
Okay.
And then we got married while we were in college.
And you went to University of Connecticut in Stores.
That's why we have a husky here.
Yes, that's right. That's why I grew up with huskies. And you just saw Rocky on the last video. Yeah. So, okay, you went to college in Stores. At the time, that was a very big trip from West Hartford. Yes.
It's about a 45-minute drive.
Now, yeah.
But back then, you didn't have the highways to drive it. So it's all little winding back roads with police officers sitting in the bushes trying to get you for speeding.
But did they?
Yeah, they did.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness.
Didn't get me.
No, you've always been the best driver.
Absolutely. I got lucky a few times.
I think we all have. Absolutely. But you've done your share of driving.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay. So I'm trying to think, let me take this back then to Judaism.
Okay.
So you did high holidays. Did you go Friday night or Saturday morning Shabbat services?
When I was very young, my father would take me. But the problem with conservative is almost orthodox. I lean toward the Orthodox.
That's what I had the impression. Okay.
And they were, davening, and I didn't understand one word they were saying. And it kind of turned me off. That's why I'm Reformed today.
And I grew up Reformed.
Right.
I haven't quite found the same anywhere else I've lived. Like
each area in the country has a little different interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find that, and a lot of the songs and prayers are chanted a little bit differently in different areas. But the basic concept is still there.
Of course. Absolutely.
So today we go most Friday nights to services, and of course the high holy days.
And Mom's part of the sisterhood.
Right. I'm part of the brotherhood.
I did not know that.
Yeah. The men's club.
The men's club. Of course. You've always done that.
Yeah.
Amazing. And so Judaism then obviously carried through.
Right.
No matter where we are. Can always find a temple to go to.
We always have.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm trying to think if there's any other questions about Jessica. Let me know. Message me if I missed anything.
I'll try to answer anything I can.
Yep. About let's talk about what was the house like when we say we have a Jewish household. Were there holidays in the house?
We'd have Passover dinners and break the fast and everything else. I even had that growing up. I remember in our little house in 16 Granby Street, Hartford, Connecticut, with a little brick house, 1,100 square feet with a basement.
Oh my goodness, 1,100.
That house is still there.
Oh my gosh.
It's still being lived in. And we would have a lot of part of the family tree goes to the Jainchill family.
And who are they? How are they related?
They were cousins.
On
my father's side.
On your father's side.
On my father's side.
Okay.
On Sybil's side, part of her family tree, her father's family, part of their family was called the Zimmermans. And most of them, when they came from the Odessa region, which is now part of the Ukraine, was part of Russia then. When they came over, a lot went to Brooklyn and a lot went to Minnesota.
Oh, wow.
The most famous one from Minnesota is Bob Dylan.
Of course.
I'm sure you've heard of him.
Now, my uncle, my mom's baby brother, said I think he did the family tree
Right.
from Odessa and said that Zimmerman side, they
Right.
were like probably cousins back
Right.
then as well.
Yeah.
So Bob Dylan, if you ever see this, you got family here.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
And not that he's looking at this side of the family tree, but nevertheless,
Nevertheless, see,
that's a true story.
music, well, that's a different
The
side of the
Jainchill
family.
family, they wrote a lot of music and there were a lot of good musicians in there. So the music runs in the family.
On both
both
sides. Now, I once heard a rumor. You and mom are like 8th or 10th cousins apart.
I think it came out to like 8th cousins.
Very, very far, but which
That's
is
far enough away, yeah.
yes, that we don't have any congenital disorders.
That we know of anyway.
No, and that's very common. I once read, not too long ago, read a scientific study showing that the DNA of Ashkenazi Jews is closer related into each other than any two neighbors in the United States. So,
Well, the reality is most of these families grew up in little shuttles, little villages, and you didn't have a lot of choices where you're going to marry. It had to be a cousin who else lived there.
some they're all related,
Yeah,
somehow or another.
Right.
And who would have discovered that? Was that another cousin that did a family tree?
Alan Schumann,
Mhm,
one of Sybil's cousins, did a family tree,
mhm.
and he's passed on. Ken Struman
Okay.
researched back to Poland, some of the family, and then of course a lot of the records are long gone from there because of World War II. A lot of these villages don't exist anymore. They were bombed out during the war, and everyone taken away from there. So those histories are gone, especially with the Nazis doing the Holocaust. So that's changed everything.
But Alan did a great job
He did.
finding
He did a good job.
some family trees. Yep. Amazing. So I'm gonna pause this and we'll start again in just a moment.